What's up, Conquerors? Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Now, I have been testing and theory crafting and doing some fun stuff with the Jin Dynasty in the background, and I've got some build orders here for you today. A few build orders. We'll have chapters, so it's easy to find each one. And these are all builds that I've created in testing, theory crafting. I haven't hit them with ranked ladder yet, but I have a good record as far as creating builds for civilizations and then working on the ladder. But take it with a grain of salt, right? Because the one thing you need to be good at in Age of Empires 4 is being adaptive. So take the build, do with it as you please. You know, depending on the civilization you're matched up against, change the build as needed. But enjoy these builds. If you have any comments about them, let me know in the comment section. If you enjoy this, drop a like. If you learned something, subscribe to the channel. And let's get to the builds, man. I'm excited to show you. What's up, Conquerors? Here is the fast feudal build with the Jin Dynasty all-mounted villagers. Now, you can actually do a build where you just use the first 3 mounted villagers and you build just basic villagers afterwards. Like, that's a viable build that you can use that I have tested with. But what we're going to do here is a fast feudal build with just mounted villagers. So it's a little weird, but I'll show you how it works. So the first thing we're going to do, which will happen fast, is 2 villagers are going to go to deer. 1 villager is going to go house, mining camp, gold. Scout's going to get sheep. So we're going to queue a mounted villager. We're going to put these guys on the reindeer, and then that one guy is going to gold. Now, the thing that's going to be pretty unfamiliar for you in this build is our second mounted villager, which we're just building mounted villagers, even though I had a basic queued up. We'll get him out of there. He's actually going to go to gold. And that's so we can continue the production of mounted villagers. So the thing is, they take 35 seconds to build and cost 115 res. But they gather at 120% resource gather rate. So it's effective to just build these guys. Like, it's more effective to just build these guys than your normal villagers, right? Like, you might get a short boost from just the normal villagers. But long term, I think really even short term, but definitely long term, the mounted villagers are the move. So, plus they're tankier, they're faster, less likely to die, right? So, we're actually have a lot of food right now, but I will send my 3rd villager to food, believe it or not. And then, I'll send my next villager out to gold. So, I haven't really watched any builds from other people, but this is just what I've been testing with, and talked with the Incan a little bit about it. You know, saw what he thought about mounted villagers, and haven't really watched anything. I like figuring it out for myself. Did a lot of testing. And I do this 3-3. I like this 3-3 a lot. And so I go 3-3, and then I rally another mounted villager to gold. So we go into like a 3-4. I'm not going to overgather sheep because I want this to be realistic, right? So if I way overgathered sheep, we'd have too much food. It wouldn't really be realistic. So we'll stick with like a reasonable amount of sheep. You know, if you get 1 sheep, just GG anyways. But yeah. So we're gonna have 4 on gold, 3 on food, and then I'm just gonna rally out to wood, man. And I'm gonna use 2 of the mounted villagers to build the gray pasture. So Great Pasture is going to go down. I'm just going to drop it right in the front of the base. And now I really want wood, man. So let's go scout the opponent. And this is going to be getting Mohi tribesmen out really quickly. So we've only got 2 guys on the landmark, but they build it 75% faster. So it's really kind of like having 3.5 guys on the landmark. If you want to speed it up even faster, like you could throw a 3rd mounted villager on it. Totally legitimate thing that you could do. If you wanted to get a tribesman out even faster, you could put a 4th gold villager on it. I don't really recommend that, but you could do it. It's doable. So we'll take our guy off. I'm just kind of showing you how fast you could get this great pasture up. Really freaking fast. And 3 guys on food, honestly, it's all we need, man. It's literally all we need. It's going to be plenty for the Mohi tribesmen and to continue production of the mounted villagers. So you can make your age up like much faster than this, but you know, I do the age up about 4 minutes. You still have a lot of res, like constant production of villagers here. You've got enough wood if you want to throw down one of these grasslands. Like you're more than able to do that. So, you know, you could throw one down here. That's no problem. Hopefully these guys just go to the straggler tree. Could have shift queued them a bit better. But now we've got Mohi tribesmen moving out the field. They'll probably try to respond with archers or something, so you get an iron pagoda out here. So I literally have a 3-3-3 going on right now, which is a bit weird. But I'm going to keep rallying out to wood. I've got this down, so now I'm 4-4-3. Once I get a lumber camp out, then we'll switch over here. So I have one pasture in the gray pasture, or sorry, one grassland in the gray pasture, one grassland here. So I'm stacking up a lot of horses that are going to increase the HP of my cavalry. You know, you could get here like a lot faster if you build the landmark faster, but 5 minutes for 2 Mohi tribesmen and an iron pagoda is pretty freaking good, man. And once you've got horses and the great pasture, you could spam units out even faster. You could instantly produce some. I accidentally built real villagers there. That was a mistake. We don't want those. We don't want those at all. So like, you could go with a second war stable here. You could go ahead and throw down a blacksmith or, you know, machine workshop or barracks, like whatever is going to serve you best. So I'm moving a little slower so you can see things, but you could move really fast here. And you know, the AI is so good at preserving its villagers. But that's the fast feudal play. I mean, that's literally the build. Since you have like horses popping out in both of these, like you could literally instantly create an iron pagoda for cheaper. So I actually think the amount of pressure that you're able to put out here, like 6 minutes, you got 3 iron pagodas, 3 Mohi tribesmen. You could have done it even faster if I wasn't just kind of showing you the build. And I think this civ has a lot of viability as far as its fast feudal. So again, what you're doing with this build is you're only building mounted villagers, right? That's the key thing. And I'm floating a bit here just because I'm explaining the build. But you're going to start off, you're going to go 2 on food, 2 on gold. The gold villager is going to build the house and mining camp. Then you're going to do 1 on food for a total of 3 on food. 2 more on gold for a total of 4 on gold. Your gold villagers will build your landmark. You can build however many mounted villagers you want on the landmark you can do. I go to 4 on food at that point, and then I just pretty much rally to wood. You can rally up to like 4 on wood, 4 or 5, depending on... I like the great pasture for the fast feudal build, but if you go the flower pagoda, you want more on wood, because when you age up, you want to do the grassland and the war stable. So that's kind of what the fast feudal looks like. You can get units out really quickly to attack the opponent. The Mohi tribesmen, I think a lot of people are mistaking this unit for something it's not. I think they're mistaking it as something that's going to stand there and fight an army. This is really for raiding purposes, not a stand and fight unit. It raids, it brings down spearmen so that your iron pagodas can clear out the rest of the enemies. So hopefully you enjoyed that fast feudal build. If you did, drop a like. If you learned something, subscribe to the channel. And let's get to the next build. Thanks for watching. Alright guys, we've got the 2TC Gen Dynasty build. I actually think this is also a really good build. They just have such a strong economy, even if the units are a bit weaker. It's like Mongol with strong economy. So I wanted to give you guys options. So we've got a fast feudal build, 2TC build, castle build. All of my builds start off the same. They all use mounted villagers. I originally tested just using normal villagers, but mounted villagers are just better. So we're going to create a mounted villager and then shoot that deer. And it's going to be very similar to the beginning of our last build. So what you're doing is you have 2 mounted villagers, and they're going to gather deer. Then you have 1 mounted villager that's going to go to gold. He's going to build a house and a mining camp, and then gold. Then you're going to rally your next mounted villager to gold. And it's going to be just like the last build. Where it really diverges is when we start getting closer to the age up. So right now we're 2-2. And then my next mounted villager. I'm going to send to food. Gather a few more sheep, and then we'll call it on the sheep. So we're 2-2 right now. Then you're going to go to 3 food. And 3 gold. Then you're basically going to rally to stone, dude. So this 2TC can get up in a very nice timing. So you're going to go 3 food, 3 gold. Just doing a little scouting here, like nothing too crazy, picking up a few sheep. We'll go back to the TC just so we don't pick up too many sheep. So I always say, you know, you got to take these builds with a grain of salt, right? Like the fast castle one I talk about next, and this 2TC. His 2TC build works great. You know, when it doesn't work great is when someone is attacking you, right? So if you're doing this 2TC build and someone's attacking you, well, you're just going to have to change the game plan a little bit, right? So if you're getting attacked, you can't just sit there and try to do the 2TC under pressure, because if there's a French knight at your base, you know, you need to take some guys off other resources, gather some wood, get a barracks up. Once you have spearmen, then you get the resources, you can go for your 2TC, right? But you need to use the build within the confines of what's happening in the game. You need to be adaptable, okay? So this guy, we're just going to rally to stone at this point. And then we're actually, this is going to be mind-blowing to you, we're going to take 1 off wood, and we're going to put him on food. Or, sorry, we're going to take 1 off food, put him on wood. And then this mounted villager is going to build the flower pagoda. So we were 3 on food, 3 on gold. We took 1 gold villager to build a landmark. We took 1 food villager to gather wood. Everybody else, we rallied to stone. We rally to stone until we get 350 stone. The flower pagoda, I hotkey is 9. Because when we age up, we want to use this ability that gives us villager gather rate increase on our wood line. It's a bit of a complex build. At least as far as the builds that I make goes, because I like them being really simple. So we've got a unique situation here where our wood line's actually close to the stone. So the flower pagoda can technically hit both, which is really awesome. But we'll probably gather enough stone by the time we hit the age up. So you still probably want to put the lumber camp here, and then you just drop the flowers here where it hits your food and your wood line. So we'll have this guy go ahead and build a lumber camp. And with this 2TC build, there's 2 different routes that you can choose. And what I mean by that is, you can get the second TC down, and you can go feudal, like you can start making feudal units and attacking, that kind of stuff. Or you can just go straight fast castle into the mega mooks, right? So there's 2 diverging options. And I'll help explain how all that's going to work, right? So I'm actually going to take the guy building the landmark, just throw him on a straggler. You can see I've already gathered, once I hit 850, enough stone, dude, for the freaking 2TC. I'm going to get double broadaxe just because I love double broadaxe, especially when I'm trying to gather this much wood. So 6 guys is going to basically, I'll keep rallying to wood here, but they're going to get to 400 wood really fast for my second TC. And so once you throw the second TC down, the question again is, do you go Dragon Pavilion for the Mega Mooks, which is a good build? Then you can build the Emissary on the trade post. Or, you know, conversely, do you just throw down some unit producers and go Feudal? Well, the choice is really yours, right? Like, I'm not here to tell you how to play. I'm just here to show you the builds, how you can do different things. So, let's take these guys off. Let's do the second TC out in front here. And we're going to go fast castle just for the fun of it, right? So we're going to do a little fast castle shenanigans. Obviously, it's a later fast castle because we went 2DC. But instead of doing fast castle, like I said, you could just drop. You could keep guys on wood over here where the flowers are. And you could drop some war stables, drop some barracks, and like start getting after it, right? If you go fast castle, what you're trying to get to is the Dragon Pavilion. Because this landmark not only does it grant free Mega Mook emplacements, which is basically just like cavalry that'll defend your base for free, gives it to both TCs. It'll give you an emissary for free, which you can then use to create basically a tributary on this site. And, let's get another guy. And, you know, you'll be in Castle Age, so it's got garrison space is what I was really looking for. It's got like 15 garrison space, so if someone dives you, you can garrison in it. And that's not a problem. And you'll be in Castle Age. So you'll be able to make veteran units. You'll be able to start collecting relics. I mean, there's a huge amount of benefit there that you'll be able to get. So I missed macro a little bit here. You know, what you probably want to do, you want to get more guys on gold earlier. But we're actually going to hit the 20 mounted villager mark because we've got 2 DCs. And so, of course, this is a slow build. So, you know, you might get attacked during this time. Well, what do you do if you get attacked during this time? Well, I can tell you, if you get attacked during this time, you throw some guys on wood, you build unit producers, you make units, you build some short walls so they can't attack you. And then you prosper, man. Then you just freaking prosper. So, like, we can throw this Mega Mook up. You could even rush this thing up, like, really fast. Like, let's say we were worried about getting attacked. We needed the garrison space. We needed the Mega Mooks. And, like, we're really trying to pump this thing out. We did our 2TC. We decided to go greedy. You know, let's get textiles just in case they dive us. Now I'm just rallying out basic villagers to wood. We've already got 20 mounted villagers at 8 minutes, dude. So this emissary is going to come out. There's also a unique wood upgrade you can get when you age up, which is wild. But yeah, now we have Mega Mooks. So we got a Defender production that's going to happen at both TCs over time. I'm going to let some idling start happening. But the main thing is you want to establish this tributary. So you do your normal things, like you'd collect wood, you would throw down monasteries, unit producers. Like, I'm floating some gold, you take some guys off gold, you move them to wood, all that good stuff. So that's the build, right? The build's done. What's really cool about this neutral trade post you took over with the free emissary from the Dragon Pavilion is normally the problem with fast castle is like you run out of food. Well, this spawns villagers, dude. Like, this spawns free villagers and they work farms for you. So you literally got this for free, and now there's guys that are going to come out and work farms for you for like passive income. So it's pretty insane, dude. Increases mounted villager build limit, actually. Increases gold from traders and automatically produces people to farm or fish for you. So it's definitely a viable build. You know, you can move this flower pagoda anywhere you need it. And that's the 2TC build, where you can either pivot into feudal or pivot into castle. If you guys enjoyed that build, please drop a like. If you learned something, subscribe to the channel. And hope you guys enjoyed these builds. What's up, Conquerors? One of the builds I've got for you here today is the Naked Fast Castle build with Jin Dynasty. And let's get after it. So the first thing you're going to do is queue up a mounted villager. You're going to tell all of your mounted villagers to attack the deer. So 2 of your mounted villagers will go to the reindeer. The other one, believe it or not, is going to immediately build a house by your TC and then build a mining camp by the gold mine. Your scout's going to go collect as many sheep as possible, just like normal. And all we're going to do here in this fast castle build is make mounted villagers. So I've done the math. It's really worth just building the mounted villagers, even though it costs 115 res. We forgot to rally that guy. Even though it costs 115 res, it's still better, because they produce faster and they gather much faster. So now that we're 2-2, 2 on food, 2 on gold, we're going to rally a third to gold here. Believe it or not, we're going to rally a third to gold. And that's so that we can continue the production of these mounted villagers since they cost gold. And so you're going to start out this fast castle build like this every time that you play. It's just kind of the go-to build for this. Now you can go 4 on gold, and you'll end up piling up a little too much gold before your age up. Or what I like to do is just go 3-3. It's just my personal preference. You can do it either way. But I like going 3 on food, 3 on gold. And then after I have the 3 on food, I will rally a 4th mounted villager to gold. And then 4 is all the mounted villagers we will need on gold to get to Castle Age. Okay? After that, we'll just be rallying to food, because we're always going to need more food than we need gold to get to Castle Age. Now, you have to really take this naked, fast Castle Age with a grain of salt, right? And I feel like a lot of people put builds out there and they don't discuss this at all when you're doing a naked, fast castle. Because let's say you're going up, this is going to work fine, we're playing against the AI, but, you know, let's say we're playing like a real-life game where you have a French opponent. And we're going to take one guy for the feudal landmark and take him off gold. The guy we're going to use to build the feudal landmark is our 4th gold villager, right? So right now we have 3 on gold. When he finishes building this feudal landmark, he will move back to gold and be the 4th on gold. And we're going to continue spamming out mounted villagers to food. That's all we're going to do. Right, so this is going to get us to our age up. We're going to have the flower pagoda. Hotkeyed is 9. And when we hit feudal, we're going to cast the flower pagoda here so that we have increased food gather rate. It's going to work extremely well. So during a real game, we'd be out here scouting our opponent, like I was talking about. And if we're playing against like French or Mongol or, you know, a civilization that's going to attack us early, this build won't work, right? So don't just blindly follow this build. You know, if you're going against an opponent like English that's going 2TC, well, it might work pretty well, right? But if you're going against Mongol and they Dark Age Spear Rush you, well, you can't just do a naked fast castle off that. So I always say that as the grain of salt or caveat in these builds, because if you're under attack, well, you're going to have to pull some guys, you know, off food and gold. You're going to have to go to wood, gather some wood. You're going to have to build a tower on the gold. You potentially, like, build a barracks. You know, get some spearmen to defend yourself. So, you know, this is the build of a naked fast castle to get a really fast timing on your castle age up. If you're under attack, you can't necessarily just go blatantly into this, okay? So that's just, you have to take things with a grain of salt. As soon as this gets completed, we're going to increase the gather rate on our food villagers. We've got 5 sheep left, actually. So if you run out of sheep, you can either move to the berries, or if you gather extra gold and wood, you can do collective hunting where you get more reindeer, right? If you run out of food, or if you're worried you're going to run out of food, you can always get wood, drop towers, go out and get the deer, right? Or you can secure your berries. If you wanted a slower age up but a more secure age up, you could even eat the berries first and then come back to the sheep. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do this build to make it safer than just this, you know, balls to the wall, naked fast castle timing that we're about to hit, right? So just keep that in mind. I mean, I think that's always a really important thing to keep in mind when you're going through these builds. And people will post, you know, I hit castle age in 5 minutes 30 seconds, and you know, that won't always happen in game. So we're gonna have a pretty good timing here. We're gonna have 540 age up. Let's go, you know, Dragon Pavilion, and then that's your fast castle build, guys. So, you know, let's start building some mounted villagers, send them to wood. So we're gonna want to start collecting some wood here, because we're gonna want to get unit producers up and also a monastery up when we hit this age up. So what you just saw there was 2 to food, 2 to gold, 1 to food, 1 to gold, 1 to gold, and then used them to build the landmark. And then basically just rallied everybody to food until basically we could age up to castle age. So if you wanted to rush this even faster, you could. Like, you could put more mounted villagers on it. But, like, right now I'm trying to gather some wood so that when I, you know, hit the age up, I can throw down a war stable and all that good stuff. So, like, you know, if you need, if your grassland post destroyed one of your straggler trees, you can throw down a lumber camp. Then when you hit this age up, you can just use these 3 guys to go ahead and throw down your war stable so that you can get some iron pagodas pumping out. You got your emissary out quickly. You can get him to go ahead and establish a tributary real fast. And this is your fast castle build order, guys. Right? So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. You know, you can edit this flower garden anytime you need it. You can reassign your guys. You can spawn some more deer out here if you want the food. You've got the emissary post coming up, which is massive. You're going to get a lot of passive resources off this. You can get your iron pagodas going. The main things that you can get mercenary. I don't know why that's showing that. You can't get mercenaries with these guys. But you can get your iron pagoda upgrade or your Mohi tribesman upgrade. And then you can really start pumping some guys out, right? You can throw down a monastery, start getting relics. This is your fast castle guide, right? And I like the Dragon Pavilion because it's going to create these mega mooks to defend your town center. And it has extra garrison space. So you actually could have put it out by the gold mine in case you needed your gold miners to garrison. But that's essentially what you want to do. You'll start your age up around 5 minutes, 30 seconds. Once you hit castle age, you'll have gotten some wood by that time. You'll want to have scouted the market so that you can immediately send an emissary to build a tributary state out there. It's actually going to be pretty huge because these guys are going to start working farms for you for free. It's another thing on the map for the enemy to shut down. And then basically, you're throwing down war stables, building grassland posts, building monasteries. The goal with this fast castle is you want to get out, you want to collect relics on the map. You're going to go into your iron pagodas, your Mohi tribesmen, and then go defeat your opponent. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed that fast castle build. If you have any questions about it, please let me know in the comments below. Like I said, during the build, if it's not working out because someone's going to push you, like, take some guys off food or gold, you know, get some wood, build some towers, some unit producers, and you'll be good to go. So, if you enjoyed that, drop a like. If you learned something, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on ladder. Alright, Conquerors, we had 3 great builds for you here today. We had a fast feudal, a 2 DC, and a fast castle. Hopefully, you use these builds and they're effective for you on ladder. Now, remember, the most important thing with the build is being adaptable in your build. So, these builds lay the groundwork of how you play Jin Dynasty. But how you play Jin Dynasty is you reacting to what you see via your scouting within the game. If you guys enjoyed this video, please support the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. As always, appreciate you guys.